Welcome back to Art with Mr. O. This is Mechanical Drawing Part 2. Using a straight edge, a little more complicated design this time. You remember last time we did a design, this is the actual design that we did on the Part 1 video. And we just simply went from point A to all of the points on the other side, the two opposite sides of the square. And then from point B, went to all of the points on the two opposite sides from point B. We got a design that looked like this when we colored it in. It was similar to this. This is a bigger design. And so the next project, the next thing for us to try looks very similar, but we're going to leave the options open to whatever you want to do. So basically, we're going to give you this square with all of the marks on the sides, and we're going to say, okay, do something with it. And you might try something that you think is going to be genius, and it might just end up being a checkerboard. Or you might try something that you're not sure what it's going to do, and it might come out awesome. So what I would suggest, and I'll show you like one idea, is to just do something and have a system to it. Now, one time I said, oh, I'm going to connect these two, and then I'll connect these two, and then I'll connect these two. And I went across the whole thing, and then I turned and did it, and I got myself a checkerboard on diagonal. So it wasn't that impressive. But I did find out there is a way. So let's say I want to go 2 down and 2 up. So I connect those two lines. Now this is interesting. I got my straight edge here, so I go, I get that lined up. Remember all of our hints about the straight edge. You have to try to keep it from slipping. So I do that line, and now what happens if I just move a mark forward on each mark? So I move up to here, and I move up to there. So let's do that for a couple of marks, and I'll show you what happens. It's really kind of an interesting thing. Keep in mind, I am using a straight edge. So I go another mark and another mark. Now you see those two marks crossed each other. Now the third line, you got to be careful not to let your straight edge slip. They're starting to cross each other. So I'm going to do this corner. I'm just going to keep going 1 mark farther up the line. 1 mark farther on this line, 1 mark farther on that line. And notice what starts to happen as I make all these perfectly straight lines. And there's a reason that I say perfectly straight, and I have that odd tone in my voice, because as you see what's happening, there's an illusion that starts to happen. Now, this is one of the popular things for the students to try, and I'll go ahead and I'll finish this whole line here. Okay, so, and actually, so I can go backwards the same way, and I might as well, because there's only one line in this whole. So I go from one line there to that line, and you see what it's done. It's actually made a checkerboard, but on the inside it appears to almost be a curve, except I know, because I used a straight edge, that every line is straight. So there's a lot of things like that can be discovered. I could do that on this side. I could do it on all 4 corners. If I start like 3 down and go 1 there, what does that do? It makes it a different curve. So there's all these things that you can experiment with. And remember, you don't have to do it on this piece of paper. You can get a piece of grid paper and do it, or you can get a bigger piece of paper and do it. You can make one that's 3 feet wide. But whatever it is you do, whatever you end up with, then we want to color in the design really carefully, like we showed you before. So think about it, practice, experiment, come up with something really awesome, and then email it to me and text it to me. Remember, practice makes better. So keep trying, and you're going to keep discovering really cool things, and color it in really neatly, really straight lines, and most important, have fun with art.